Welcome to Nathan's visually vivacious virtual tour of Connor Prairie. Now I know what you must be thinking. Nathan, Connor Prairie isn't a park. It's an interactive historical museum. Well, you're right, but you're mostly wrong. Even they admit they're a park. With over 1,400 acres of land, Connor Prairie offers the nature and wildlife a park does, while also providing the public with countless activities to partake in. Activities such as listening to things, walking on things, throwing things, flying things, and much, much more. But in this tour, I will be focusing on the wild side of Connor Prairie. Most of the video and pictures you will see come from right here, in the floodplain on the local levee. Now this area is off limits for the public, but there are nature trails all around the park, so you can just get your nature on without VIP access. I'll kick things off with birds. Of course, since it's winter, the bird population isn't at its peak, but I was still able to find and identify a few. The first being the red-headed woodpecker. Woodpecker's unique behavior of pecking wood has forced a strange adaptation to occur. In order for the bird's brain not to take damage from the repeated skull bashing, the woodpecker's tongue wraps around the skull as cushioning when it hits the wood. They are fairly easy to identify, especially if you hear their pecking or their call, which sounds like a short trill. And here's an example of just how deep woodpeckers can dig. I also saw Canadian geese. Mallard ducks. And I could hear the Carolina chickadee with their iconic four-note song. Owls live here as well. I saw a barred owl but was unable to film it. I did, however, find owl pellets that most likely belong to its species. Up next are the mammals. White-tailed deer are the majority here. As you can see from the video, when the deer runs away, it raises its white tail. This alerts nearby deer to danger. In this case, the danger was me. You can stumble upon evidence of them almost anywhere you go, whether it be their tracks, droppings, or even fur. I only found a few in person, but at dusk they come out of the forest in groups of 10 to 20 and lay down on the sun-warmed hills by the symphony stage. Now these deer are a food source, albeit a rare food source, for coyotes. Because of their smaller size, coyotes hunt differently than other canines. Normally wolves and such will sneak up from behind and chase down their prey. They use their weight to their advantage to take them down. But coyotes can't do this, so they'll sneak up from behind and go straight for the jugular, attacking the throat and head. This is how they take down the large deer. The only evidence of coyotes I was able to find was its path in the tracks. Up next is fungus. One of the species I found was turkeytails, or the scientific name Trametes versicolor. This fungus is easily identifiable by its striped color pattern and porous underside. They grow in large clumps on dead deciduous tree trunks. They are edible, but it tastes very bitter. The other species I found was Trametes gibosa. It's similar to the turkeytail in that it is porous, but it is much larger and usually gray or white. The older individuals can sometimes grow algae or moss on them, turning them green. And lastly, we come to plants. First up is the sycamore tree. The reason the bark fades to white is because as the tree grows, the flaky, brittle bark falls off under the stretching trunk. This leaves behind the pale white bark you see near the top. Sycamores grow 30 to 40 meters and are capable of growing in urban areas. Because of this, they are widely used as shade trees in cities. And growing along the White River are silver maple. These trees grow 20 to 30 meters and are recognizable by the gray, shaggy bark. This tree in particular had a large, thick vine growing on it that was most likely harming it because it has since been killed by a worker at Connor Prairie. And this unusual looking tree is commonly known as hackberry, or its scientific name of Celtis osudonalis. Its unique feature of bumpy warts along the trunk makes it easy to identify. The hackberry wood is used in furniture and plywood. In the middle of the levee, occupying most of the field, is jerry grass. It's rather generic, but pretty nonetheless. Its thick, bushy base give homes to many types of sparrows at Conner Prairie. I also found some out-of-place mullein, or Verbascum thapsus. At first glance, it looks like a lamb's ear because of the fuzzy, woolly leaves. But this is a young plant, and soon it will sprout a large stem in the middle of the plant, which blooms with bright yellow flowers and more soft leaves. And that sums up my exceptionally non-creative virtual tour of Conner Prairie. If I learned anything from all the time, energy, and research that went into this project, it'd probably be that I should have read that rubric beforehand. But regardless, be sure to come and experience history and nature firsthand here at Conner Prairie, between the hours of 9 and 5, of course.